I really didn't think that many people liked me, so I really appreciate you showing up today. Thank you, Skipper, CMC, NRD Phoenix Sailors, for putting this wonderful ceremony together for me today. I know what a pain it is to take the time out of your busy schedules to set one of these up. Thank you to my cousins Haley and Emmy Rogers for that awesome performance of the national anthem. Can we please give them a round of applause for that? I'd like to thank my grandfather, Melvin Jones, for his invocation. And to my cousin Allie, I hope that sums it all up for you. Thank you, Chief Talbot, for being my master of ceremony today. And thank you to Chief Harrington for coordinating my return. I would like to acknowledge my mom and dad. Thank you for always supporting me and setting me straight when I needed it, which wasn't very often. You are truly wonderful parents, and I couldn't imagine my life any other way. I'm very lucky to have you both. I am excited that we will now be able to spend more time together at this stage of our lives. Mom, thank you for kicking that Army recruiter out of your office when he came to get signed parental consent. To my sister, Brandy, thank you for being my big sister. You have always had my back and have been so proud of my Navy career. I love you. You're a strong woman, and I want you to know that I see that in you. To my wife, Mary. Get some more. Well, somebody took my water. Just trying not to cry here. So. To my wife, Mary, thank you for giving me this family. You gave me the direction, the motivation to succeed in this life. I know I would not be standing here on this stage if I didn't have you to support me and hold down the fort at home while I was on deployment. You've been along my side for 18 years of this journey, and today is as much about you as it is for me. I love you, and I'm excited about the new chapter in our life we're about to take. Great. To my kids, Devin, you will be a successful man in this world, I have no doubt. I'm excited for this summer to get you started on your own journey in the United States Navy. I just wish I knew someone to be your recruiter. I love you. I wish you all the best that this world has to offer, and I'm so proud of you. Justin, you're going to take a different path in this life. You're set on joining the Coast Guard and becoming a puddle pirate. I'm excited to see what the Coast Guard has to offer. Just know, you're going to be the brunt of all jokes every time we get together. I know you will succeed in whatever you set your mind to. I'm excited to experience this journey with you. I love you, son, and I'm so proud of you. Molly, my little princess. I'm not going to look at her because she's crying right now. My little princess, you have had me wrapped around your little finger since you were born. I love the woman you're becoming. Break. I don't love that you're fighting being daddy's little girl nowadays. You're growing up too fast. I remember going to a chief function when you were about 4 or 5. A fellow chief asked you what you were going to be when you grew up. You looked up at him like he just asked you the dumbest question in the whole world, and without a hesitation, you replied, "I'm going to be a chief." That was one of the proudest days of my life. You're focused on becoming a Navy nurse right now. Nothing would make me prouder than giving you your first salute. I love you. A friend of mine once asked, what am I most proud of in my life? Without a doubt, it's you three. All right, got that out of the way. I often think how I'm gonna feel when I retire. I often think to myself how I'm going to feel about my career when I retire. What will I remember about my career? I will remember standing in the street at my Uncle Brian and Aunt Thelma's house, crying like a baby, hugging my dad and telling him goodbye when I left for boot camp. That was 21 years ago this weekend. I remember one morning, about 7 weeks into boot camp, I was sitting in the galley eating breakfast when I saw a bunch of fresh recruits enter the galley. They were all wet behind the ears, brand new Smurf suits on. They hadn't even had their hair cut yet. That's when my best friend from home, Devin McClaws, spots me, jumps out of his ranks and runs over to me and yells, "Hey bud, what's up, man?" I felt my RDC BM1 McIntyre's eyes pierce through the back of my head. I looked at Devin and said, "Get the hell away from me." He had a crushing look on his face. He said, "What's wrong?" My RDC BM1 came over to me and said, "You got 5 minutes, but you're gonna pay for that tonight." And I sure did. I remember standing at roving watch at NATTC Pensacola from Balls Date. I got a call from the front gate to pick up a sailor from the local police department. It was my buddy Andy Saldano. His face was bruised, his mouth was busted, and I can't even describe how bad he smelled. I said, "What the hell happened to you, man?" He said, "Those cops down there in civil quarters ain't that tough. It took 5 of them to get me down in cuffs." I still this day don't know what he did to start that, but knowing Andy, it was probably well deserved. I remember a hurricane was about to hit Pensacola. We were told if we have somewhere to go, get off base and don't come back until that storm passes. So Devin, Andy, Dustin, and I, 3 of my best friends, spent the night at a hurricane party at a bar called Floribama, watching the tin fly off that roof. That was one of the greatest nights of my life. My buddy Dustin Barber take me home to Louisiana to meet his family for vacation on a lake. He asked me if I knew how to water ski. I said, "Hell yeah, I do." So we go out to the lake. It was a damn swamp. He said, "Let's go." I said, "I'm not getting in there with all those alligators." Peer pressure set in, and I wasn't about to be that guy, so I sat at the end of the pier with my ski dangling in the water and a rope in my hand. He had a souped-up jet ski, and he pegged it. He thought he was going to take me for a ride, and he tried his hardest to toss me off that ski, but I wasn't going to fall off and get eaten by alligator. And he made the mistake of swinging me in too close to the shoreline, and I saw my opportunity for my dismount. Coasted in the shoreline right in front of his parents. They were pretty impressed with my skills, and I think I could have qualified for the X Games that day. I remember my first supervisor, A3 Sherry McClaws. What a pain in the ass she was. She had 1 pay grade on me, and she made sure I respected her authority. One day while sitting down to eat at lunch, I noticed her keychain. It was one of those glamour shots, but this one was of the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. I said, "Who is that?" She said, "It's my sister, and do not look at her like that. She is way out of your league." I said, "Well, you really should let her make her own decisions." I said, and then she said, "Okay, fine. She'll be out here in a few weeks. Let's see what you got." Well, a few weeks later, I went to a party where 83 and her sister were, and I worked my magic. Yeah, I had game. And 18 years later, here we are. I guess I showed her. Break.